Welcome. You're listening to an Adventures in Middle-earth actual play using fantasy grounds. You can find session summaries, items and characters on Obsidian Portal, where our campaign is called In the Shadow of the Mountains. You can find links to that and our other forms of media for our sessions, as well as an index of this episode in the description. Last episode, the party cleared a farmhouse of unwanted occupants, received a reward and another audience with the king. This episode, they start the journey west with a message for Beorn.
You're traveling, it's easy going. Let's get some nice, friendly summary traveling music.
And presumably you can put junk on Slack the pony as well. Save us carrying it all ourselves.
Yep, you can put all of the gear on Slack the pony. That's quite easy.
How much is travelling rations does everybody have? So I need to know how much to buy as well.
I've got 7 days, which is kind of emergency. And I'm assuming we're surviving on stuff we catch and forage while travelling, if at all.
All right, so I see I've got 7 as well. Okay, cool.
So you just let me know when you're all done with the shopping side of things.
Another couple of hours, we'll be there, John.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Now going back now, guys, as you get whisked into Mordor on the back of Nazgul.
Whee!
Okay, so you head out, and you know that it's pretty safe around here until you get the far side of the river and where you basically meet the elf path. But you're also slightly disconcerted to hear that Bard's aware of some bandits or other groups operating around Dale. I wouldn't say in Dale, but you feel fairly secure. Are you taking any specific precautions on the way you travel?
No, just making sure we're stay alert. Well, that's what Molly will be doing.
Okay, so you're near the Long Lake. You're travelling. You've been out of Dale for about half a day. Pony's working out really well. He's very placid, uncomplaining, just plods along. You're finding him easy to control, and it's fascinating. There are some folk on the lake fishing. You even pass some people walking along the shore. However, you can also see ruins of the old lake town visible in the water near you. Blackened poles poking out of like ribs, and you even hear fishermen saying, "Have you seen the bones of Smaug the Dreadful in the river, in the water? He's there on a clear day." You don't even bother to look. You have no idea where he crashed in the water, but you are just enjoying the walk. And as you're probably about an hour or two since you met the last person, you suddenly hear this. Sounds like a young child shouting, "Help! Help!" from up ahead. And this young boy, maybe no older than 10 years old, bursts out of the rushes ahead of him. He spots you and runs towards you, waving his arms and tears running down his cheeks. "Help! Please help! My father! His guards, they're going to kill him! We're going to Mirkwood and they're going to kill him! He told me to run, to find help! Please help me!" And his words tumble out in a flood of panic and tears streaking his muddy face. What do you want to do?
I guess go with him to see what's going on.
Okay.
Monin takes out his bow and knocks an arrow. Well, keeps an arrow close to hand.
My father, his guards, they're going to kill him. So it sounds like the guards have turned on him. We're going to Mirkwood and they're going to kill him. He told me to run, find help.
Is the kid pretty inconsolable, or can we talk to him?
You can talk to him, but he's like running. He's already running back up the path, and he's like, "Come on, quick!" He's shouting over his shoulder.
Run after him.
Yeah, Monin will try and keep up with everybody.
Getting my bow ready.
Okay, you're running slightly running west. It's forested, and it's getting a little bit more heavily forested as you're moving around that area.
And the kid seems genuine, does he, John? He rings true. He doesn't feel like he's acting or anything silly like that.
He looks very scared.
That'll do. Okay.
So Belgo is running west. He's a little bit ahead of you, and you're in a forested path. There is, as he runs around the corner and disappeared, I will let you kind of move for free until I say hold. So move roughly in order, kind of take it in turns, but I guess you're just jogging up after him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hathis is happy to hang back a little bit, sort of jogging the pony and the dog and letting the more martial colleagues take the lead.
Okay, so as Monin gets to the corner, the sort of path seems to carry on, and Bell goes running down it.
Hey, wee bollocks! Come back here. You're doing exactly the opposite of what your dad wanted. Mun will try and put a quick sprint on to try and catch hold of the kid if he can.
You can hear Monin puffing down the path, and he's saying, "Quick, quick, come on!" And as you get to there, this is what confronts you.
A dragon?
A massive Smaug the Mighty in a clearing just up ahead, which should appear to you very soon.
Oh, yes.
There are 3 ruffians surrounding what looks like the young kid's dad, and this is what the kid looks like. The looks like a middle-aged man and his young son Belgo. And if you get an inspiration point if you know who Baldur and Belgo are from either the Silmarillion or Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God knows.
No, unfortunately.
Someone will be googling that for.
I was going to say not without Google, so no.
If you do a search for them, they will crop up. I think they were father and son, and I think they were early Numenorians, but I may be wrong. Anyway, so clearly they were named. This couple, father and son, were named after them. Okay, so everyone roll initiative, please. No, these guys are just travellers.
One of them's got a beautiful peach right knee.
Did you say a beautiful peach right knee?
Oh yeah, that's their name on the combat.
That's their name. They have names.
Oh right, I just thought Neil was into knees.
He is as well.
If it gets a bit much, I can turn that off. But I quite like it. It does random names rather than just calling them Thug 1, 2, and 3. So
that's fair enough.
I like Bound Chin Curtain myself.
Sounds like forms of martial art.
The wistful gait.
Right, and first up is Brother Hathis. What do you
Can
want to
he?
do, Hathis?
He's at the back. Can he see this, or has he got to progress a bit more?
You can hear gruff voices around the corner, but you can't see. So just roll players if you can't see anything.
Yeah. So he'll keep moving up. He'll move his full 30 foot. And if he can then see what's going on, he'll shout, "Halt! What's going on? Stop this!"
Okay, so I don't think we've had to do this yet. You can move through friendly squares, but it's equivalent to difficult terrain, which means it costs you 5 feet of movement per 5 feet. So it doubles. It halves your movement rate through.
Okay.
You can go round them, but
well, Hathis was lagging at the back, so Hathis will deliberately delay his action then until his colleagues have gone in first, because he doesn't know what's going to be confronting him. I'm happy to move down the initiative order if you want.
What are you delaying until?
Until at least 2 of my armored friends are in front of me. So after them, they
are already.
Okay, he'll just move up behind them then. That'll do.
Okay, that's fine. So you can see through the bushes. There are some thugs there now, Chris. After 15 feet of movement,
so
if you wanted
he'll
to move a little bit further. You can.
No, he's definitely keeping behind at least one of his colleagues who are better at this than him. But he will shout, "Halt! Stop! What's going on?"
Okay.
And that'll do.
Can the birds twittering come down a bit?
Birds twittering can come off completely.
Thank you.
Sorry.
But now we've lost the dramatic music. I don't feel so dramatic anymore.
I can put the dramatic music back. Hang on a second.
And you've got Lady in Red as well. DJ.
You got to request.
If you want, if I could put Lady in Red on.
Oh God, no.
When it's my turn,
really
play Benny Hill music.
I'm going to go for a bit of let's go for a bit of uplifting music as an alternative. One moment.
Yeah, I only said it because it was the dramatic music, and then the birds were tweeting, just like going, I don't know if I should be having a picnic or killing somebody.
Right.
That's better.
Killing someone.
This is more killing someone. So, Juan moved up with you. Next is Wistful Gate. You can hear him say, "Oi, company!" or something along those lines, and he moves back, grabs Baldur, and just pulls him as if he's trying to get behind the that log. There's a big kind of fallen tree on the floor there, and he's just grabbing him, moving behind. And then the next thug goes around the corner to there as well. They've all got clubs, by the looks of things, and that was their action. Baldur just cowers on the ground a bit. Don't help me! Don't hurt me! Don't hurt me! Belgo shouts, "Dad! I've got help!" And he runs around the corner to about there. Amalfrida.
I'll just take a regular action. Moving through difficult terrain, does that cost half my movement?
Yeah, so it's 10 feet per 5 foot moved.
Yeah, so if I go to there and then take as another action there, and that's my turnover. Because I'll take 2 move actions, I think. Yep, that's me, thank you.
Okay, and you've got a weapon out?
Yep, axe and shield. And I'm ready in case anybody comes in.
Okay.
Does my dark foreboding tell me anything about these
Okay.
people?
Just remind me of the
Well,
game.
One of the examples it says, those doomed to die can usually tell, for example, whether an orc band is an isolated raiding party or part of a larger force.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Or whether a nearby ruin is steeped in shadow.
Okay, thanks. So, you don't get like a sense of great evil from these. They just look like bandits or thugs. You think this is the lot. You would probably either need to ask Belgo or ask Belgo just to confirm that.
Yeah, all right. I'll move up to, I don't know, there, I guess, and call out, "You let him go, or I'll put an arrow in you, boy."
Okay.
I can't remember how holding action works, but basically, can I say that I'm going to shoot him if he doesn't let him go?
So you're targeting which one? Bound shirt, bound chin curtain. The others
one. They're both holding him, are they?
Wistful Gate took him round the corner.
Wistful Gate took him, but you haven't got a clear shot on him at the moment. You've got Amalfrida and Beautiful Peach.
Beautiful Peach, right me.
When you say I haven't got a clear shot, you mean I can't hit him, or it'll be hard to
get penalties?
Through his knee.
Yeah, well, if he's the one that's got him, then
to be an adventurer like you, then I got an arrow through my beautiful peach-shaped knee. I should have seen that coming with a knee that was a beautiful peach, but I didn't.
As my bonus action. Oh, actually, maybe not. Yeah.
You can take a bonus to move more.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
take a bonus to move and get a line of sight on.
Yeah, so if you move kind of west of that, that's perfect.
So my bonus action would be there, and I'll tell him I'm going to shoot him if he doesn't let him go, and then if he doesn't let him go, I'll shoot him if that's something I can do.
Okay.
Or more likely, shoots the tree behind me. We'll see.
Intent.
No, come on. You've got to be more positive. Moan him.
Okay. So if I wanted to move and fire a bow, that means I can go 20. No, it's double. Yeah, so it would be 20.
Yep.
Remember, you've also got an action surge as well.
Action surge gives you an additional action.
That's right. So you could move twice and then shoot using your action surge.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that actually. That sounds quite cool. So that's the first move.
Bear in mind, you can only use an action surge once per rest. If you have a rest, you'll be able to reuse it. But until then, you won't be able to use it again.
I'll tell you what, I'll just do the double movement. That probably sounds better, and then just wait. Just keep the bow on them.
He runs back to next to his colleague. and says, "We don't want no trouble. We found them first. You leave us be." Hathis.
Hathis will.
Oh, hang on. Oh, sorry. Neil, just remind me, it was Wistful Gate.
Wistful Gate. So basically, if his action is not to let the guy go, then I'll shoot him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did warn him, and yeah, it's just not his turn yet. It's his turn after Hathis's. Okay, so Hathis, you're moving up.
Yeah. The pony should have moved up as well. I only just realised it's on there as well. So the pony, I'm sort of still leading the pony as well. And I will, in classic Scouser mode, say, "Everybody calm down." I'm not very good at Scouse accents. There doesn't need to be any bloodshed here. What's going on?
Hang on. He's suddenly gone Scouse. I like that. Hang on a minute.
Only on moments of stress. It's a stress Scouser. And that'll do for Hathis. He definitely doesn't want to be at the front getting involved too much.
Okay. So Wistful Gate has got Baldur around the throat with his left hand, and he's got a club in his right, and he says, let's see, because you threatened him. Could you give me an intimidation check, Neil? You can do it in the open.
God almighty.
Hey!
Whose dice have you got? Cool.
He roughly lets his hand go from his neck and says, "Oh, don't shoot, don't shoot." And he steps back 5 feet away from him.
Good stuff.
"What'd you let him go for, Bert, you fool?" And he grabs him by the throat and raises his club up. "Come any closer, and we'll end him. Sorry, lad. It's the realities of living out in the woods." And then he's not made a lot of sense. But Baldur says, "Leave me alone." And Baldur says,
Help, I'm being oppressed.
Exactly.
Help me, Dad. There's some lovely mud over here.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system.
That's right. Witness the hypocrisy of the ruling class. Amalfrida, I think she'll probably just step up and whack somebody. So she'll step up to Peachtree.
Not my knee.
And hit him across the knee. I mean, it's got a target there, isn't it? Yeah, let's try out this reckless attack thing. I'll probably regret it.
She's gone full. She's gone full native.
Full road.
We hate bullies. Okay, so where's my weapons? There we go.
Ooh, that's a hit.
And that should be.
Ow, me knee!
That serves you right.
Ah, you bitch! He shouts.
That's my turn. There you go. Thank you.
All right, Sigmar, you are up. So the guy, it didn't trigger your action last round because he actually did what you said, but the other guy next to him, bound chin curtain's got him by the throat at the moment.
Okay, can I shoot him, or do I need to move?
Yeah, you can shoot him from there.
Yeah, I should shoot him then.
He is. So yeah, it's only about a 2-foot tree lying on the ground there. So it's not enough for full cover. He didn't duck down, so you don't have any penalties. What's happened to Sigmar? Someone's replaced him.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
upgraded. It's level 2 now. That was level 1 previously.
That hits.
So now I think for my damage I have to.
Oh, you choose, don't you, or something, or?
Yeah, well, no, I roll twice and pick the best, but I have to unselect him first because otherwise it will just apply the first damage roll. Now,
just click the damage dice twice.
The sneak attack thing says if there's an enemy within 5 feet of him, I can get sneak attack. Now, I know Baldur's not a combatant, so does he count as an enemy?
If there's an ally within, no, you don't. He needs to be an ally. So if he ever becomes an ally, you would. He's just trying to distract him and stuff, but not at the moment.
In that case, I should roll this.
So
twice.
just roll damage twice and pick that. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I'll have that one.
So all you do is in the combat tracker. In the action window, drag that. Just click in that white area and drag it onto your target, and it would apply damage. Perfect.
Twang!
Ah, you fucker! He says.
I told him to let him go. I meant all of you.
Yeah.
All right,
Monan's going to shoot him too. And
He's got Neil's curse. Yeah.
All right. So what are you using? A short bow?
Great bow, it says here. Whatever's great for a
great
for a
bow. So
dwarf.
this meter-long arrows quivering in the tree trunk behind him, and his eyes bulge out of his head. Stop firing! Stop firing! Now slack the ponies up.
Ah,
He doesn't really get any action, so. And
trot, trot, trot.
beautiful Peach right knee says, I think you bust me arm! And then he bricks himself and disengages, so he just starts running back down the path. So disengage means he's defensively trying to escape the risk of you attacking Stuart, and you don't get an attack of opportunity on him because of that.
No, it's fine.
And he ends up, hang on, though we've run out of map a bit, he ends up about there. He's scarpering. Hathis.
Hathis will head towards Matey Boy, but he will shout, "Everybody stop killing each other! For the love of goodness!
Can't we all just get along?
Well, we don't even know what's going on." And I'll bring my animals with me.
It's Dr. Doolittle.
Exactly.
You've got some panpipes and you're whistling.
Yeah.
Rats are following in the forest and everything. So
Well, you warned me about bloody hippies. What they can't eat, they smoke.
And that's all he's doing. Yeah, he's just calling for... He wants to understand the situation rather than resorting to murder hobo.
All right. Thug Wistful Gate. Fuck this, you bugging! Nearly killed him! And he just starts running this way. And he sprints past his buddy. And looks over him and said, "Whoa," as he sees a gash in his arm. And then bounds Chinkert and goes, "Oi!" Drops Baldor and then just legs it as well. And starts sprinting off down the passage. So Baldor says, "My son, thank you!" Jumps over the log and starts running up, and Belgo also then runs up, and they hug each other.
Touching. Oh.
Amalfrida.
I'll take... Probably... I'll go to there. That's right, you bloody keep running, cowards. That's my turn.
Okay.
I'm not going after them.
Tigmar, I've just got a feeling, is just intrinsically lazy. If he doesn't have to run, he won't.
Well, we're not police, so yeah, I'm just going to stay where I am with my bow trained on them, just in case they turn back. But yeah.
Okay.
Mona will just go to retrieve his arrow and ignore the fleeing guys.
No problem. So you saw where it landed. Just give me a DC 5 dex check to avoid snapping it as you pull it out of the wood. Up easily. Yeah, you pull it out straight. It looks in great condition.
Cool.
So we'll come out of initiative. You've basically driven these off very intimidating way. Wounded a couple of them, didn't kill them, and they disappeared. What do you want to do? You've got a scared-looking middle-aged man and a boy there.
Right, tell us your story. What's going on here?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, good sirs. Oh, and madam, you arrived just in the nick of time. So he sits down with his son at his feet on the log and lights up a pipe to calm his nerves a bit. And he explains he set out from Lake Town with his son and those 3 thugs. He explains he's a merchant and a traveling trader. And him and his 4 ponies are carrying, which looks like they've scattered further down the path, are carrying iron tools and toys from Dale that he intends to sell to the folk of Woodland Hall. He also has arranged with the Elves for passage through their lands. He basically knows that Mirkwood is dangerous. He has been, as a younger man, travelled through Mirkwood, and he's finally got courage again to do it a few years after the battle, after the King's proclamation, to go back west again trading. And he looked in Escort for guards who were brave enough to risk that crossing. It seems that he didn't make a good choice. It looks like the guards were waylaid him. I wanted to avoid going through Mirkwood.
Swines.
Yeah, I advise you return back the way you came and get some more guards.
But I need to go west.
Well, we're going west, but I don't think we're going all the way.
Well, I'm going to Woodland Hall, but if you're going west, you're taking the elf path, I assume?
Yes.
Well, we're going the same way. Well, at least I hope we are. I can pay you.
We can certainly come. We can certainly
Welcome aboard.
come all the way down to Crofter's Vale, can't we?
Well, says, I'll tell you what, if you can get me to Forest Gate, the other end of the elf path, I think that's basically through Mirkwood. I'll feel safe then, and me and my boys should be fine from there. You willing to do that?
Yeah, as long as you don't do anything silly, like run off into the forest and follow instructions. That seems like a good idea. Safety in numbers.
And I think, well, those buggers, they were going to charge me. You look more competent than they do. I will offer you 50 silver if we get the other end. Thank you,
Good heavens.
me and my boy.
Sounds
Presumably
wonderful.
that sounds like an awful lot.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the value. He said, I need help getting my goods together, but I'm willing to pay that. I could make a good return on these in Woodland Hall. They don't have much metal stuff over there.
Nice trip, been there.
You've been there?
Sounds like a highly acceptable rate of pay.
Excellent.
Very
All right,
reasonable.
then. So you find out as you're travelling, you spend about 30, 40 minutes. The horses hadn't gone too far. Looks like the thugs were basically just didn't want to do the thing and thought there was some easy money in robbing him. Made a mistake. So, but they've disappeared. They've got off the track somehow. And as you're travelling, Baldor is very chatty. He's a bit miserable, but he chats quite a lot. And you find out he was once a fairly affluent merchant of Lake Town, but he lost pretty much everything when the dragon fell on the city then. Not only was his fortune destroyed, but his wife Halla also perished. And he managed to carry his young son at the time out of the flames, but couldn't find his wife there. Others have found prosperity in the years since the Battle of the Five Armies. He's not been so lucky. He moved to Dale when its reconstruction started, but he's yet to rebuild his former wealth. And he's very, very proud of Belgo. He can tell him he loves him dearly, and it's probably the most precious thing he's got. Any other questions you've got for him, or any other?
Were they on foot, their party?
They were basically walking 4 ponies, which they still have. And he's got quite a lot of iron goods, probably 200-300 pounds of iron goods attached to each pony.
Okay.
How did he select the guards? Or were they selected for him?
Well, I just asked around, and in Dale, and someone pointed me to a tavern where sometimes people do guard duty, and those 3 folks signed up.
Well, you wonder if they knew each other beforehand. Seems like you were either or somebody maybe steered you in the wrong direction.
I know. We buggers. Sorry, that's a moaning expression. Well, I'm very fortunate you were there. My Belgo's a good lad. I know he'd help.
Yeah, he did well.
Though he did
So
run
you kind of
headlong.
meander. Yeah, I'll take this map down. You meander around the edge of the river for a while, going in and out of trees. He explains that he plans to meet with some elvish friends from his time prior to the battle at the edge of Mirkwood, and these elves will accompany him and the caravan up the river on paddle boats, or I both they paddle. And then from the Elven King's Hall, he plans to set off down the forest path to the west side of the woods.
So he said he was meeting some elves, didn't he? Where was he going to meet the elves?
He's going to meet the elves on the edge of the wood. That was his plan. So you're about, looking at the map, you're about a day to 2 days minimum from the edge of the wood, maybe even longer than that.
Okay.
You're about 60 miles, you would estimate, from meeting the elves. So his plan was basically to go down the river a little, cut west, skirting the north side of the long marshes, and then along the forest river. And as he gradually got to the outskirts of the Woodland Realm, that's where he was planning to meet his elf buddies, and then go
and follow
maybe
the elf
night
path.
at the follow the elf path eventually. So, but basically spend a night in the Elven King's halls. Are you okay with that as a plan, roughly?
Yeah.
Never trust an elf.
Well, we don't have to go with him for that bit. We can wait for him or something along those lines. I guess.
Well, you can go with him, but I'm staying in the forest. I'm not going nowhere near them elves. They'll put you in a prison.
He's heard the rumours. Okay, so twilight of the third day as you're travelling, and good to his word, as you're going along, it's fairly well trod track along the edge of the river. A trio of rafts emerge from the mist on the river. Green cloaked figures punt these rafts to the shore. There's 2 or 3 elves per raft, and they greet Baldur and you all warmly. Baldur is pretty well known to them by the looks of things, and they welcome him back on his route west after a few years. It seems it's strange that their appreciation of time is very different from yours. It seems like only yesterday they just met him, but it's probably 6-8 years ago. They are amused and fascinated by Belgo, and they basically, you understand that they don't see many children these days, and not among their own. The ponies are unloaded. All of the ironwork is unloaded onto the rafts, and they're initially wary about getting onto the rafts, but it's really interesting. So, Arthas, you find this fascinating. One of the elves appears to just whisper into the pony's ears, and they walk on very obediently. And they all become
elven sorcery.
So if you want to try and get the dog's fine, but if you want to try and get your pony on, you can unload and do the same sort of thing. But you'll need give me an animal check in the open, because it's not natural for this.
So are we going with them, guys, or are we leaving them to their business?
I think we could just leave them to get on with their own business. Certainly,
you agreed to help them get through Mirkwood. You're only just on the outskirts of Mirkwood.
I thought he was
150, 200 miles to go.
I thought he was dealing with these guys and then coming back. Is that not the case?
No, he's going west. He's actually wanted to sell this stuff at Woodland Hall. He's just going to be staying in the Elven King's Hall overnight.
When you say the outskirts of Mirkwood, the eastern outskirts, not the western outskirts.
Yeah. So you were basically going along the river west of Thranduil's Halls. So Thranduil's Halls is marked in green. It's a very famous place. Everyone knows it. It'll be an easy route. You're basically going straight along the river on rafts punted by the elves, if you want to join them.
I'd be happy to go in, but if Monin doesn't want to, I'm also happy to go and wait on the other side for...
No, it's alright. We all gotta die sometime. Maybe today's the day.
Okay. In which case, we can unload the horse, and then I need to do an animal handling roll get slack on the raft. Yeah.
Okay. So as you're beginning to unpack and stuff, an elf comes up who introduces himself in a very sing-song voice as Lindar. Hello, I'm Linda. I'm master of the King's Cellars. Baldur is welcome here and has been very, very helpful to us in the past and done a lot of trade with us. We know him well. And his nice eyes narrow a bit. Why are you all here?
We encountered Baldur a few days ago, and we have agreed to escort him safely to the edge of Mirkwood.
At his request.
At the far edge of Mirkwood. He didn't feel safe travelling on his own. His guards betrayed him, and so we are standing in to look after him, his personal safety.
Okay. He looks a bit askance at you, Monin, and his nostrils flare a little bit. His pointy elven nostrils flare a little bit as he looks down his nose at you.
I think you were too good for him, Monin.
Can you vouch for them? He asks. He's obviously pretty disdainful of you all. He asked to Baldur, and Baldur says, "Well, they saved my bacon. I was being robbed by my own guards." these folks seem to be heading the right way. I only met them 3 days ago, but they've been good as their word so far. I've even offered to pay them to get me to the other side down the elf path. So he says, regretfully, I won't be able to allow you into Thranduil's halls. However,
Oh, what a pity.
if you go to the other side of the river, there's a bit of land for about 5 miles, and there's another tributary of the Forest River the other side. And if you wait there on the far bank of that, at the head of the elf path, and this is a route that you've come through before.
Mm-hmm.
In 2 days, we will bring Belgo and his goods to you. That's satisfactory?
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
I shall bow before him and say, may others be as hospitable to you as you are.
Moaning farts.
I'll whisper to Monin. We don't really understand. So that pointy elf fella is allowing us the luxury of camping outside for 2 days, and we're grateful.
Oh,
Is that right?
yeah, you probably should be, because maybe if you went with him, you might end up in his jail cells and the prisons there. So down in the dungeon. So probably the safest place is be away from them. I mean, to be honest, you probably won't even see these Belder or Belgo again.
Anyhow, yeah, that works for us. We'll see you in 2 days. And Hathis and his entourage of animals, brackets horse and dog, will slowly head in the right direction to go to where we're supposed to be meeting them.
Okay, so you basically head roughly where that arrow is.
Yeah.
You cross this part of the river, and they graciously take you across on this section on their rafts, drop you off the other side. Chris, just give me an animal check to make sure the pony doesn't panic or anything. You can do it in the open, just for the laugh factor. Oh, you're fine. So you get slack off the other side, and you travel tomorrow mid-afternoon. You get to the river, the other river at the other side, and after a little bit of getting wet and it's deep, you basically strip off in the main, manage to load up the pony, do a couple of trips, but you do cross the river, and you decide to camp early, as you know you've got to wait, you've got to be there another day, and manage to start drying stuff out. So 2 days later, let me know if you want to do anything, but you're basically camping just overlooking the elf path. You found a reasonable spot. You're not right on the path.
Yeah, that's nothing I want to do. I don't know about the others.
No, not really. Just wait.
Just
okay. So a couple of days later, go to the word. You see coming from the west, another 3, could be the same 3 rafts that you saw before, moving much more swiftly downstream than they were going upstream. Very elegantly punted by elves that don't even look out of breath, and they grinds with some gravel on the shoals on the shore just in front of you, and they hail you. You thought you were fairly well hidden, but clearly not to elven eyes. And Baldo, your guards look like they waited. You were more optimistic about that than we were. I wish
He's
you
an observant one,
good
that
luck.
elf.
You'll find, Master Elf, that when we dwarves make a pact, we keep it.
Well, I understand not all of you are uncouth, and he looks at you and says, and you are well dressed for one of your kind.
And you have a nice dress yourself.
I wish you well on your journey, lady and gentlemen.
Fine. And is Belgo and Baldur, are they coming ashore and coming our way with their ponies, etc.? Yeah.
Yeah, it takes it's about an hour of disembarking, and then elves help Baldur, and I'm sure you do as well. Yeah, just reloading all of the ironware back onto the ponies again. And Baldur looks happily at you and says, they even gave me a bottle of elven wine.
Oh, they tortured you. Oh, God.
Enjoy that sometime down the trail. So you start traveling. You're
Mhm.
so Chris, this is the travel roll I asked you to make before, so I kind of got some stuff planned for this. But the region is mainly beech trees. It's not so oppressive here, and you remember this kind of area opened up quite nicely. There's not trees overgrowing the path as there is deeper into the woods, and it's actually quite pleasant journey. Haven't seen anyone. Linda has warned Baldur as Baldur's discussing with you that you will soon enter a much more perilous area. And he basically says, Baldur said it. Linda was very, very adamant that we never leave the elf path. Said, especially to the south. He said basically the woodland realm is fairly well is patrolled by elves, but they rarely go south of the forest river, and hardly ever at all to anywhere south of the elf path at all. You should be safe on the path, but basically don't get clear of it at all. All right.
Yep.
So you're very upbeat. Strangely, it's sun filtering through the trees. It feels really, really good. And as you get towards probably 2-3 days in, and you believe you're going to be getting towards the streams heading south pretty soon, you cross over the enchanted stream, and he basically warns you. Baldur says, "Yeah." Lindar says, "Don't drink from that stream. It's risky. It's not good water to drink from there."
Okay.
You spot as you were camping. There is, and it's something Belgo seems to be holding every evening, almost like he's praying to it. But he's got a talisman around his neck. He seems to kind of talk to it a little bit. As soon as you look at him, he kind of puts it under his shirt again, but you can kind of glimpse out the corner of your eye that he's talking quietly to himself, and he kisses it and then puts it back in his shirt every evening.
Do we get enough of a glance of it to know what it looks like?
Hard to say. It looks like it's either a cheap metal or maybe ceramic. It just glinted a little bit in firelight, but it's always in the dark that you've seen it, basically.
Okay, well...
So you would estimate...
How old is he? This is the kid, is it?
This is the kid. He's about 10 years old.
So it could easily be a memento of Mum or something. Harlow or whatever her name was.
Yeah, it could be something like that.
Picture, maybe.
So you camped out, and it's gone pretty uneventfully for the couple of days since you've picked him up. You're approaching the enchanted stream, and I'm assuming your watch orders maintain the same. So it's the same order.
Yeah.
Yep.
As you've got. Okay. So probably the small hours of the morning, Sigmar, you were ashamed to say you just dozed off slightly on your watch. When you wake up and you can see Baldur is something very strange about him. He's looking back and forwards up the path, and then he looks over at you and he says, "Who are you? Where am I? Where? There is fire under the mountain. Those fools have woken the dragon. I must find Halla. You've kidnapped me, you rogues. Where's Belgo?"
It's all right. You're having a bad dream. Is Belgo around?
Are we awoken by this?
Belgo. So he's about 30-40 yards down the elf path and he's just at the edge of the 20-30 feet down the elf path, just at the edge of the light from the fire.
Who, Baldur or Belgo?
Baldur is. Belgo wakes up in his bedroll when he hears his dad shouting. He clearly doesn't recognize you, Sigmar, at all. What do you want to do? So you're only the only one awake at the moment. What I would like everyone just to roll initiative, just so we can get a rough order of the way these things will work. Holy mackerel, there's some initiatives there.
19, 17, 20.
Sigmar's on what?
Wow. Amalfrida, give me, we'll start with you, give me a wisdom check to see if you wake up. You do, so it's DC 10. So you kind of bit bleary-eyed, you vaguely heard some raised voices, and you just lift yourself up onto your elbows in your bedroll a little bit. That's basically the round you've just woken up.
Okay, yep.
So Hathis, give me a wisdom check to see if you wake up. Yeah, you come awake a bit more easily, and you were nicely snuggled near the fire, and you've like cold draft comes under your blanket. You don't like it at all, but you are awake, and you also heard some raised voices moaning. Moaning also wakes up really grumpy.
Nothing new
Only
there.
just went to sleep. He's just come off watch and he's just been rewoken again. So the dog is fast asleep, just still.
Absolutely.
And Sigmar, you are now awake. What do you want to do? So he's about, I don't know, 50 feet away from you, maybe down the path, just at the edge.
I'll call out in a loud voice. Baldur, it's fine. You're having a bad dream. Belgo's just here.
He looks really panicked and says, "Hello, must find you!" And he just turns off the path and just sprints into the forest.
I sprint after him.
Oh,
He
bugger.
very, very quickly leaves. So he very quickly leaves the firelight and just disappears into the wood.
Well,
Don't
I
do
can
that.
I can do a bonus dash, and I can see in the dark, so I'm going after him.
Yep.
Nice.
Make an active perception check. It's an action. He very nimbly nipped into the woods, and you kind of lost him. So you definitely need to make i.e. his hide, and he's not trying to hide, but he's just in very dark woods, but he's beaten your passive perception. So to find him, you're going to need to actively spend your action looking, and only move half move.
I'll do that then.
Okay. Okay, you spot him disappearing into the. You do spot him disappearing into the woods.
Nice.
I use my bonus action to dash after him.
Okay, so you can maintain about that 50-foot distance if you can see him in the woods. And what is your night vision like? You can see in darkness.
Well, you don't necessarily see better in dim light. Your other senses are going to compensate for it. Within 60 feet, you treat dim light as if it was bright light, and no light as if it was dim light.
Alright.
Is Baldur Elvish?
No, I think it's just a
He's
treasure
human.
hunter thing.
Yeah. So Sigmar, it's a treasure hunter thing. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Baldur. Yeah,
s-
sorry.
Baldur is human. No, he's from
I forgot
Escort.
who I was.
So how's he seeing in the dark?
He's just blindly running into the woods. He isn't.
Oh, right, okay.
He's wearing plot goggles.
He's wearing plot goggles. Okay. So the others you can't even see where you're getting a bit. Actually, Neil, give me a. You had a terrible experience going through Mirkwood, didn't you? From your background, you lost the entire party and your entire fellows. So just role play that out. You've gone down. You've basically got the 50 feet down to roughly where he was, 50 or 60 feet, and your heart's racing now. You know
It hasn't quite occurred to me yet. It will in a minute.
You know he's run into the woods, and you can see his trail disappearing. He's dodging around trees and heading into the woods. Do you want to follow him?
I'll follow him and then suddenly realise where the hell I am and what the hell I'm doing. And call out, basically, "Hey, follow me! Come here, quick! He's gone this way."
So I should have. Yeah, by the way, sorry, I should have asked you to make that at disadvantage. It's strange. So it's as if the wood is dampening sound. Your shout wasn't very loud. Your own footfalls weren't very loud. You can almost hear your heartbeat louder than the movement from Baldur. Guys, the rest of you are now awake. You're kind of pulling boots and stuff on, getting out of your bedrolls. Belgos isn't awake yet. He's still asleep.
Well, Amalfrida's aware that she can't see in the dark, so there's no point in her running off.
Money's just dressing.
Okay.
Brother Hathis will hap the fire up to get it burning brighter because it's a good beacon and it will help us all see.
Yeah.
Assume we've got a fire. He'll wake Belgo and say, "Your dad's run off. can you start calling for him, but don't go into the forest? The elf said don't go into the forest. So don't go into the forest.
Belgo's eyes get really big and his chin quivers a bit in fear, and he looks around at the dark, foreboding forest all around him and says in quite a low voice, "Dad!"
Louder.
Without shouting too loudly. "Dad! Where are you? Come back!"
That's a good start.
It's clear that after maybe 4 or 5 minutes, you're all dressed, you've walked up and down the path, and you've not gone on into the woods. It's really it's too dark to see. He hasn't responded to the cries. You haven't heard him in that time. You're going to need light really to plan on this more carefully, unless you want to try getting a torch and going into the wood with the kid as well.
That's suicide. The elf said, do not go into the forest. There's spiders the size of houses in there. That may not be true or not, but it sounds like a good thing to say.
We need to at least try and find him. You can't just say, all right, well, he's gone. Goodbye.
Well, okay.
Did he have the money pouch on him?
Asking for a friend.
An immediate shadow point to Moan in there. So he did, yeah.
Oh, in which case...
Moan is fully motivated now. So.
This poor lad, he needs to find his dad.
I mean, you good to your word. You look around pretty much all night for the remainder of the night. It's only a couple of hours. It was last watch when he ran off, and it's only as the light starts filtering back through the trees again, and it's this oppressiveness. It's you kind of can't shake off the feeling that something's weird happened actually with the forest. This oppressiveness just dissipates as the light starts filtering through the trees, and it's getting warmer again, and eventually, and you're sure you've searched here, but you see what look like fairly obvious tracks of Baldur going into the forest, but it's only in the light that you saw them.
What time of day is it?
It is about 6:37 in the morning. It was so that it's beyond dawn. It's now the sun is up, but
right.
It's low, very low in the sky.
So we've got light that maybe we can track with.
Absolutely, yeah.
We can't just leave the kid's father wander off into the forest, can we? We've got to make an effort to go after him. But I don't know whether we should take the horses and take the boy, or whether we should maybe try tracking for a couple of hours and then make a decision whether we all of us head off the road.
Yeah, the problem is if we do go in there and we get lost, then if we've just left the boy and the ponies here, then that's maybe the last thing we'll ever see of him.
Yeah, so he's got to come with us.
Aye. So it's not great. So maybe we'll have to leave some kind of signs saying which way we've come, so we can come back the way we actually went.
It's interesting, you cannot, especially Sigmar and Hathis, who do quite a lot of tracking. You can't understand how on earth you missed these tracks last night when it was dark. Even with just moonlight, you should have seen them. I mean, there's deep footprints in mud and snapped twigs. For someone like Hathis and Sigmar, a blind Monin could follow them basically. So
spooky.
Right then, let's get after the kid's father.
Aye, all of us, let's all go.
You make a decision to just lead the ponies, and you literally 1 or 2's depth of trees off the road, but well within the sunlight. You tie them up and hobble them a bit, so you'll know where they are. And hopefully, if you call, they'll neigh, especially your horse, Hathis. So you may be able to get back to them in a pretty easy way. But actually, if it's in the daylight, those tracks are pretty easy to find. So if you're tracking, whoever's doing the tracking, give me a survival check in the tower. So Sigmar, do you want to give me a...
Oh, me? Survival roll in the tower, you say?
Yeah, survival roll in the tower. And actually, if other folk want to do that as well, you can do so.
Yeah, can we help him or anything like that?
You're fine, Sigmar. So you follow these tracks, probably for about 40 minutes to an hour. You're very, very aware that you are now well off the path. Trail appears to just suddenly stop. Footprints in mud. Suddenly, it's as if he vanished into thin air. Baldor's just not gone.
Look up.
Give me a perception check in the tower. Okay, Hathas. You spot, well, it looks like a spider's web, but it looks enormous. And like a couple of strands of it, but they're like as thick as your finger. They're not anything like a gossamer thin spider's web that you've ever seen.
Oh, good grief. Look at that spider's web, guys.
Beggars' houses, you said?
Yeah.
And Vigilant Senses, was that you, Sigmar?
No, that's me. So
That was you, okay.
Yeah, so if I'll give you a perception check in the tower, this is something more directed about how much danger are we in. Are we about to get leapt on by spiders?
Stuff.
Thank you. Your spidey senses, quite literally. The fine hair on the back of your neck stands on end a bit, Amalfreda, and you just know that there's a sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach. There's something very wrong with where you are around here.
Okay. Well, we don't like this, and I'll get my shield and axe to hand and just crouch slightly, looking up anxiously at the trees.
Do you want to have a look around for anything else?
Munan does the same.
Other tracks or signs? Okay, give me another. Actually, have this.
I'd like to have a look
yeah,
to see if there's any sort of large. What's the trouble is, I probably don't know much about spiders, so I don't know what I'd be looking for. To be honest. So
Well, you can have a look for other tracks. That's
okay.
doable. So give me a check in the tower. Everyone who's
survival.
doing that. Okay, so Hathas and then Amalfreda go, hey, look down here, and you find drag marks on the ground. So leaves and stuff have been dragged out the way, and it looks like you actually see what could be like a heel dragged through mud. Looks like he's got tangled up and maybe dragged off somewhere.
Uh-oh. We should follow that, but I don't want to go first because I've only got a wooden cudgel.
I'll lead. Which way am I going?
Can you see these giant drag marks here?
Oh, great.
Yeah, you can see drag marks with massive spidery footprints.
Yeah.
You would estimate that something non-humanoid has dragged. Well, you're assuming it's Baldor, but it's something's been dragged through the woods from here.
Okay, so I'll keep following along.
Scout ahead.
Be very, very careful.
So, Neil, if you want to go ahead on your own, I'm going to need a. So in Rollmaster there'd be like a check for this, but basically this is a courage check, actually a fear saving throw, which I think is wisdom, because you are petrified of these woods, having lost a lot of. So if you want to make a wisdom save to go and track ahead, you can. Otherwise, you're basically make an excuse and stay with the party.
Okay, I'm not planning to go like miles off ahead, but yeah, okay. Save.
Yeah, no. You are. It's DC 15 to do it. So you're.
You know what? I think we best stick together.
Right. Well, if Mogan can lead the way.
Yep. As long as they keep telling me go that way, I'll just mine will just head on. Sword and shield out. With an eye looking up most of the time. Not most of the time. Sorry, a lot of the time.
Okay. Let me just stop this music and we'll play some more sound effects.
Spider butchery music.
I need obviously like dangerous spiders. Some unsettling wind noises and stuff in the wood now.
So yeah, we'll direct Monin in terms of it's up there or along there, kind of thing, in terms of where the tracks are going, if we can.
Okay, you find it pretty easy to track. Probably no more than maybe 400 yards away. So whatever this was strong. If it was dragging a human, or there was more than one of them. You come to a low hill amongst a sea of green. I have no idea who built this place, but it's ancient and it's long ago fallen into ruin. There's no trace really of any defensive walls or outbuildings. All that seems to remain are a single round tower and part of what once must have been the keep itself. The keep has crumbled and collapsed in on itself, leaving only one corner still standing as an L-shaped wall. Both tower and wall are covered in a dense shroud of cobwebs, and web strands run between the tower and the wall. And oh my goodness, as you're looking, hanging from the very top of the wall is a wriggling bundle in the webbing. It has to be Baldur.
How far above the ground is he?
30 feet up, maybe?
Crikey. Well, there's our goal. Amalfrida, when these come, keep our shields close together. Don't go too far ahead. I'll use my shield, you use yours.
Right, okay. I ask your dog to be quiet. We can't sneak up with him making that noise.
Get down, Shep.
What? Johnny's falling down the well? I can't. We're already on one quest.
You are, at the moment, Amalfrida and Monin, I'm just going to share it, I'm just going to describe it first, have snuck up behind a wall and are kind of looking ahead. You are just north of a round tower, and you can see Baldur is basically up about 30 foot. So you're behind a wall, next to a crumbled wall, next to a circular tower. Opposite you, at about 30 feet off the ground, is a pretty solid wall to a keep, and he is attached right at the top of that, hanging from webbing, basically.
And the webbing is very thick.
Very thick, yeah. I mean, easily able to support you guys.
So not couldn't be cut by a single kind of Robin Hood like shot.
It might do, but he'd probably fall 30 feet and land on his head if you did that. You might be able to do it. I'm not saying you can't, but it would not be a
soft landing,
easy shot at all.
Okay. Look, even if we win here, how are we getting him down?
Presumably we can climb up eventually and
get a rope round him.
Cut him down and lower him down or something.
Right, well, there's nothing for it. Let's get the killing done.
Everyone okay with going into battle in the middle of Mirkwood with unknown number of spiders?
Can't see anything to kill.
I know, but not really. But what am I going to say to this wee lad? Sorry, we saw your dad, but we walked away.
Hathis, give me a law, and Amalfrida, give me a law check in the tower.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Even with the minus. You are outlawed, Hathis. Your Amalfrida, you recall your dad saying that spiders are most dangerous at night. You can't remember whether they were just as dangerous in the day, but basically what you are aware is they do most of their movement at night, move around, so they may basically rest in the day. And that's all you can remember.
Oh, so we might be able to get them away without these things noticing or moving.
Maybe.
Assuming it's more daytime now than nighttime.
Yeah, it must be
it's still mid-morning, yeah.
Fantastic. So we might be able to tiptoe up and sneak and spirit him away.
Is there any obvious way? What do the walls look like, John, from this distance? Are those walls relatively easily climbable? I'll give you a perception roll in the tower.
Yeah, thanks.
It's just roughly how easy would the climb up those walls be to try and get to a position where we could lower Baldur down?
Doesn't look like an easy climb, but it does look climbable from where
Okay.
you sat. You can see. So you glanced into the circular tower where you are, and that's all real there. So there are like old crumbled spiral stairs going up the inside of the tower, probably to about the level of where Baldur is, but it's obviously a different place.
Right.
And then high wire across on those cross strands, but you'd think spiders would feel movement along their webs.
Yeah.
Alright. Monan's swapped shield and hammer for bow. Right, well, if you just want to sneak in like elves, and you saw elves would happen to you, then fine. But I'm not going to be no good at that, so I'll just stay here and keep an eye on things.
Your biggest worry, Amalfrida, when you were looking over there, and you can see them on the map, there are spiders' webs everywhere. And you just don't know how sticky they are or how they can impact what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't fancy the idea of trying to go across the webs.
No.
I'd rather try. Well, I mean, I'm not too bad at climbing. Amalfrida's okay at climbing, so I think she'd probably be happy at trying to go across the open ground, have a look to see if there are any spiders lurking in that square tower, because we'll trigger them once we start playing around with the webs. And then maybe to try and climb up the wall with somebody else to help her.
Mm-hmm. Can help you.
Or you could try and shoot him down, and I'd try and catch him.
I don't think that's going to work.
Well, my first one was like, do these webs burn? In which case I thought, even if they do, that's a really bad idea.
That's him roasted.
Oh, sorry, Belgo.
I think it'd be a good idea to have a lit torch on hand anyway, so I'm going to basically light my torch and take it with me and just stick it in the ground, just so that it's there if we need to run for it.
Well, it might not be a bad distraction if we start getting into a fight, setting fire to the webs that are in this circular tower. I'll guarantee they'll rush towards that circular tower and the fire, and then maybe the one person who's trying to lower Belko can do so without being attacked.
So at the moment, I've drawn the map, but you guys haven't scouted around the whole place, and you don't know what's in the square tower. The only place you looked at when you crept up just 10 feet south of you, there's like you kind of poked your head in there and looked up and saw you could climb stairs up into that tower. You didn't see any spiders in that round one. You have no idea what's in the...
No, we need to go and peer into that L-shaped bit, don't we?
Yeah.
If there's anyone good at sneaking around.
I'm fairly good at sneaking around.
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Sigmar was probably pleased to see someone else volunteering as well. So
yeah, I mean, I was going to sort of basically sneak across the open ground to about there and then have a look.
Okay. So give me a stealth check in the tower, and Sigmar, if you're going that way as well, give me a stealth check in the tower as well.
So Amalfrida's plan is to head to there.
I'll follow along behind her, basically.
Okay, so give me a stealth check in the tower as well. You're both extremely nervous, so and just like hearts pounding in your chest. Moaning Hathis, you could hear twigs cracking, leaves being moved, and both of you, Sigmar and Amalfrida, you know you weren't being stealthy, getting across to there.
Brother Hathers, I think I could have done better.
I think you might have been able to.
All right, I'm going to have a look from where I am. Is it up on the upper part of the wall? Can I see anything? And
you look up kind of towards... So hang on a second. Let me just... Up towards the south. What's that? I'm afraid I can see something up there. Hang on a minute. Oh my god, and that.
It's oddly runty, though.
Oddly runty.
And that.
Nasty gate.
So, massive, like, the size of you, spider.
I've dated girls with those names, I swear I have.
Oddly runty.
Yes, she was my favourite. She was good at parties.
That's outstanding, joke of the session. Thank you. The spiders appear to be stationary, hanging upside down.
They're asleep.
In webs just above what would be that wall. They're about 30, 40 feet off the ground, maybe 5 feet above that wall going across from north to south where you are.
And they don't seem to have reacted to our approach.
No,
They're
I mean,
not twitching.
they look horrific. Let me just give you a quick description. Many-eyed and many-legged. It's probably about the size you would estimate of a big pig or a boar. It's huge. It's like your size. You've never seen anything like this. You've heard rumors about these things, especially hatters and... In fact, it's only Amalfrida that's seen that. But you've never seen any in your life. Look as scary as you could possibly imagine.
Wow, look at the size of them, Hathas. They must be the babies, because you said that they're the size of houses.
I don't know whether we want to just launch a few arrows at them and fight them on the ground away from Baldor, and then once we've, hopefully, if we can defeat them or drive them off, and then go and get him. I don't know if we're going to be able to. I don't fancy climbing up walls and fighting spiders.
Well, we could climb up the wall to the north, as in just to the left of Baldor.
Yeah.
Quietly, see if we can cut some of the webs and lower him down without alerting the spiders.
You've not looked at all at the north. All you've done is just crept up to that eastern wall so far.
Well, shall I creep round that way then?
Yeah, creep round that way and let me keep an eye on these spiders. Go and have a look and see what you can see on the other side.
Okay, give me a perception check. You still got your torch with you now?
Yeah.
Or did you leave it stuck on the ground?
No, I've got a broadsword in one hand and a torch in the other.
Okay.
Perceivement.
Yeah, against the nights, against the sky, there are a bunch of... Hang on, I'm looking for disappointing smile. Where's disappointing smile? Is that another
Very
one of the old
meaty.
girlfriends?
Very meaty.
Very meaty, disappointing smile, and this is the best one of all so far. Hang on a second.
Villainous, scornful laughter.
And this one, colossal. So
Colossal and
there
meaty.
are.
I like
They sound like pizzas.
They are all asleep as well, and
Do not wake them.
One of them is slowly rotating around on a single thread by the looks of things and twitching a little bit, but they are not awake.
Could light a fire under them, or set something on fire and throw it under them.
Do you want to creep
Maybe
back to your colleagues? In a moment, you can't communicate. So just give me another stealth check to get back. Hopefully, although you didn't wake them up last time, but hopefully they'll.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Sigmar, stealthy as anything. Oh, both of you, look at this on the return journey. Amazing. So you can move yourselves back to your colleagues and have a quite whispered planning session.
Okay, so we can describe where all 7 spiders are, or the 7 that we saw. I just don't like the idea of climbing up and fighting them on top of...
Well, I'm hoping we can spirit him away without having to fight them.
That's our only hope, really.
So that bunch over on that wall, too close. We don't know about this.
They're asleep.
Yeah, but for now.
If we set the place on fire, then that'll probably wake them up, and they'll just jump off the webs.
That's right, yeah, I like that.
So, I still favour trying to shoot him down, and I'll try and catch him, or Amalfrida and I try and catch him. And then we run like hell.
No disrespect, Moanin, but your legs ain't made for fast.
Well, that's alright, you don't have to be faster than me.
Huh.
We need to just spirit him away and spirit ourselves out of there.
I presume that Sigmar's the best with the bow, John.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't have a bow at all. Never used one.
I'm +4.
Hathis, give me an insight check in the tower. You were kind of looking around and a bit intrigued by this.
Mm-hmm. Insight. Oh, okay.
Circular tower to the south of you. Yeah, so you were thinking, well, Okay, so they saw some spiders on the edge of the walls, but they were 30 feet up. I wonder if there's more up there we just can't see from down here. And you make a recommendation that why don't we go up this tower and just look across and to see if we can just get a better vantage point from up high, and almost like looking down onto that area.
Okay.
So who wants to do that?
It needs to be someone sneaky and climby.
Is Amalfrida the bravery of youth willing to do that?
Yeah, I can have a go at that. So you want me to make a stealth check then?
Yeah, please.
There you go. And so that would take kind of around there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of... Wow, she's doing well. You guys within feet don't hear her. She's soundless. You can see her moving up there, and you kind of move up right the way up to there, Amalfrida, and gradually peer between. If you can see that part of the map there, there's a low piece of, could have been an old piece of battlement or something, or crenellation in front of you. You stick your head over that and just peer across. You may be 5-10 feet above the height of that wall, about level with the spiders. And oh my god, thank god you did that. There must be dozens of spiders all roosting. There's like a whole nest of them up above in the trees and in the canopy hanging above that castle.
Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my word. So it's stealth and get lucky or nothing.
And all of these things are about the same size, about the size of a sort of a large pig. Wild boar.
It's about, like a wild boar size, about the same size as your Alsatian sized dog, basically, that kind of size.
I'll return and tell the others